Hi guys, Ray here from City Fan TV. I hope you're all doing very well this evening. Hi Harsh, first one in the house, nice and early. Hope you're having a good new year. It's 2nd of January, guys, 10 p.m. in the UK, and we're here to give you another live stream. We're going to talk a little bit about the Chelsea game tomorrow. I think that everybody wants to talk about that subject, maybe chat about a team that you'd like to put out. If there's anybody, I don't think anybody's got any new news on whoever's got COVID, and looking at maybe a bit about Chelsea, just to see what they might put out. Hi Dio, hope you're well. Yeah, and guys, if you want to check out the preview I did, a mega preview with 4 Chelsea fans. I did actually have more, inundated with people who wanted to get involved. We had somebody who works as a producer on Radio 1. We had an actor in The Lion King. He's a stage actor. He's been doing a part there for years in The Lion King. We had somebody else who's a diplomat with the UK government. And we also had somebody, I didn't know this when I booked him. I knew he's a producer and a director over in America, on the West Coast in America. I didn't know he was in a band in the 80s, late 80s, early 90s, called The Adventures. So imagine my surprise when he mentioned that he'd been in the band. And obviously, I'm a man of the late 80s especially. So I knew the songs. I knew the band, The Adventures. And they had an album. I think it was their biggest album, was The Sea of Love. And some of the tracks, I think the biggest one was Broken Land, but they had Drowning in the Sea of Love, Broken Land, You Don't Have to Cry Anymore, Hold Me Now. Those are the ones that immediately spring to mind from that album. I used to listen to it quite a lot, especially I used to listen actually to the first 3 songs on that album, which was Drowning in the Sea of Love, Broken Land, You Don't Have to Cry Anymore. Just when I was doing some training, so you'd listen to those 3 and then switch to something else. So yeah, interesting, very interesting to get someone like that on the channel. Hi, Chris Lindley, hope you're well, mate. Hope you're doing well. Before we get into the Chelsea chat, obviously we'll talk a little bit about football today, and look at some of the results. Spurs thrashed Leeds 3-0. Crystal Palace beat Sheffield United 2-0. They look doomed, Sheffield United. We'll talk about the table. If there's not too many people on, when I finish to go through the results, we'll talk a little bit about the table. Brighton came from 3-1 down to draw with Wolves 3-3. And West Brom at home, another pumping at the hands of Arsenal, who won 4-0. They lost to, was it Leeds the other week? Was it 5-0? But West Brom have drawn away at Man City and away at Liverpool, 1 each. So, I mean, yeah, you just can't believe it. Games where you think they've got a chance, they get pumped, and games where you think they've got no chance, they come out with a point. So yeah, they're in big trouble, near the foot of the table. And let's see if anybody else is here. Hey, suddenly everybody comes in. No, Haj, we don't know who the players are. Hi, Faris, hope you're well. Didn't Pep say that he would know today about the squad? Did he say it today? Maybe. I think he meant on the day of the game. You'll find out on the day of the game. He's not going to tell out unless something comes out in one of the, 10:30 tonight. Can't say, hey, more people in the house. We'll just have a quick look at the Premier League table. Sheffield United look doomed. Lost 4 of the last 5 games. 17 games gone. 2 points. They need 5 wins. I mean, their goal difference is terrible, -21. They need 5 wins just to catch and get ahead of Brighton. Brighton are on 14 points, so they're above the relegation zone on 14 points. And Sheffield United got 2. Fulham, who were 18th on 11 points, have got 2 games in hand. And then outside that, you've got Burnley, who have got 16 points. That's 14 points more than Sheffield United. They've got 2 games in hand over Sheffield United, as have Newcastle, who are on 19 points. So it looks extremely unlikely that Sheffield United will get away from the relegation zone. West Brom, the saving grace of West Brom, they've won a game and drawn 5. They got 8 points, but they got pumped again. They've let in 39 goals in 17 games. Can't believe City and Liverpool struggled against them to score. And they're on minus 28 goal difference, 8 points. But end of the day, they're 6 points off Brighton, who were outside the relegation zone. So, anything can happen. It's only 2 games, 2 or 3 games to catch up. And look what Arsenal have done. They've won 3 games on the bounce. 3 games on the bounce, and they've gone from about 15th in the table. They're suddenly bound up to, they're now 11th. Okay, it's mid-table, but winning 3 games on the bounce, look at the difference it's made. They were on something like, was it 14 points? And they've won 3 games on the bounce. And now they sit 3 points off West Ham, who've had a good start, 3 points off Southampton, who got a game in hand, but that'll go tomorrow. And obviously 3 points behind City, but we've got 3 games in hand. 3 points behind Villa, who've got 2 games in hand. 3 points behind Chelsea, who've got a game in hand. I mean, you couldn't make this up. A month ago, you'd have looked at it and said, Chelsea were going to be fighting for the title. Certainly up there in the top 3. Spurs winning today has got them back into the top, comfortably in the top 4. 16 games, 29 points, still 4 points off United and Liverpool. And United, they call themselves joint top. How does that work? Joint top. No. Otherwise, in 2012, United would have been joint top and won the Premier League. They didn't. Still cry about it, don't they? Has the squad travelled hard? I assume they might travel tomorrow. I don't know, honestly. It might be that they travelled and stayed in a hotel. Obviously, that's a concern. Staying in a hotel, and they have to be really, really strict now. But I suspect they would have travelled. Because to play an afternoon game, you can travel on the day, but it's not sensible. You could, if you go down on the train, you could risk missing. No, I think they would have travelled already. But I haven't checked that. Alex Forsey, hey, long time no see. Yeah, long time no see to you. Hope you stick around for a few days, and Happy New Year to you. Hi, Alexandros Kalispiri. But Edison, no, I think he's won with COVID. He's put it out on social media, as has Tommy Doyle. Won't be surprised if Chelsea turn up tomorrow. Forest. Yeah, look, they've had a little break. Villa could have took it yesterday. Grealish was different. Gravy top classes Sarge. I didn't watch the game. I didn't watch it till the last few minutes. Everybody's raving about Jack Grealish. Everybody. He's got 7 assists, which is similar to KDB. He's cheap on the Fantasy Premier League. He looks like he's doing the business. But you're not going to get him for anything short of 80 million. So he plays in England, and that makes it easy from that respect, but it also makes it a lot more expensive. Edison's keen. I don't know how we can cope. Looks like we have to play long. Stefan was a little suspect last time. He played very sloppy. The thing is, he needs a bit of confidence. He needs a little bit behind him, a little bit of positivity. He needs a few games. Playing in the Carabao Cup. The problem is, you're just playing in the Carabao Cup. That's all Stefan has played. Was it 3 games for us? That's it. So, just we're going to have to rely on him. We're going to have to rely on him for the game against Chelsea. We're going to have to rely on him for the game against United. We've got no choice. So, just hope he can do the business. So anyway, let's talk about the team for tomorrow then. As I was saying earlier on, I'll just go back to that. If you want to watch that preview I did with the 4 Chelsea fans, great stuff. Grace was a producer on Radio 1. You had Stuart, is a UK diplomat, works for the government. You've got Paul, who used to be in a band in the 80s, who had a few hits in the late 80s, a band called The Adventures. And now he's a producer and a director based out on the west coast of America. And you had a guy called, I think it was George. Trying to remember what George did. George was an actor. I tell you what, he looks pretty spick and span for his age, and he's been acting in The Lion King for quite a while. So please go and check that video out. It was a lot of fun. I mean, they've all tweeted as the video finished, as we finished recording, that it was great. They loved it. It's a bit of fun, and they all want to come back and do it again. So I think we had fun. So please go and check that out and give it a like. Edison, Doyle, Walker, Jesus, and maybe Torres are COVID. This is a game to learn. This is a crunch game. Hey, we've got no choice. That's the thing. We've got no choice. So he's going to be learning as it's a crunch game. For me, obviously, Stefan in goal. If Cancelo's fit, there's no arguments for me. Cancelo at right back. Centre back, you can't go away from the wonderful pairing of Stones and Diaz. Left back, there's a lot of options. You've got Ake, who my only concern is he's very left-footed. Then you've got Laporte, who can play there. But since Ake was put there in front of Laporte in the game that he played left back, you'd think he's probably still ahead of Laporte. You've got Mendy and Zinchenko. So interesting, guys. Who would you pick? Who would you pick as your left back? You've got 4 choices. Mendy, Zinchenko, Ake, or Laporte. DM, Pep's going to pick Rodri. There's no question about that. And then the question is, do you want somebody who's defensive to cope with people like maybe Werner, maybe Havertz, maybe the pace that Chelsea have got, and have someone like Fernandinho who can counter that speed and the pace of those youngsters with his knowledge, with his brain? Or do you want someone like Gundogan, who's a little bit more progressive, a little bit more creative? And with them, whoever's the second DM, personally, I'd take Fernandinho right for tomorrow's game and for the game against United, which means it'll probably Gundogan tomorrow, maybe Fernandinho next week. I'd have, obviously, KDB. Not going to not pick KDB. And up front, I think Aguero starts for me. Aguero will start down up top, and he'll be flanked by, I suspect, Mahrez and Sterling. Mahrez and Sterling. Although I wouldn't say no to having Bernardo Silva. Can't see Phil Foden starting. Pep's just not picking him in league games. Faris says, honestly, if Stefan has a shocker, I won't criticise him because it takes game time to put in a flawless performance like Edison. Look, Edison was fortunate as well that he joined in a season that we were brilliant. And I had so much possession, so much control of games that he wasn't called on too much. And you can argue he struggled a bit, in actually stopping balls going in because it's not as if he's tested all the time. Harches would want Dino in there, but Gundogan has been class, so I don't know. Pep isn't dropping Rodri. Absolutely, that's if I had to pick 2, I'd have Fernandinho and Gundogan, and probably push Gundogan a bit further forward with KDB. Duff, how you doing, buddy? City will wipe the floor with a poor Chelsea side. Well, 5 games ago, you wouldn't have said Chelsea were a poor side. They were well above us in the table. They've just had a run where I think they've won 1 out of the last 5 games, got, I think, 4 points out of the last 5 games. Have to go to defensive and hit counters. I think we'll be a bit more positive than that. I think Chelsea are expecting us to control the game. Mahrez, Sterling, Aguero up top for Haj. Do you think we would go with the defensive left back like Laporte or Ake or with an aggressive left back like Zinchenko Mendy? That's the question. It all depends. If they've got someone like Hudson-Odoi, then I'd want a defensive left back. I want someone with pace. The things I like about Ake, he's good in the air. Okay, he's positive in our box. So outside our box, you've seen Stones. He's very positive and good in the air. In the box, Ake's your man. Ake's your man winning headers. So he's got a chance of saving goals and a chance of scoring goals when we have corners. Our wasteful corners. Which one would I like? Let's have a think. I'll go for. I'm in two minds. It depends what role Cancelo plays. If it's like that game where Ake, Diaz, and Stones were basically 3 at the back, and Cancelo was in midfield, then you don't need someone like Mendy or Zinchenko. If you're going to put Mendy, Cancelo into midfield again, then I'd go with Ake again. Haji's going for Laporte or Ake. The 3 additional players that got COVID, Alex, one of them apparently was Tommy Doyle, and one of them was Edison, because they've put stuff out on social media that they tested positive. And I'm hoping Tommy Doyle was one of those. I expect he was one of those 5. But the final one, we don't know. Alexandros is going for Laporte at left back. Dalek, how you doing, buddy? Happy New Year, mate. Happy New Year. You boys must be really happy to go to someone like Everton, who was second, and beat them. I mean, you know, you had a good start. You had a couple of before the win, you had 3 draws and a loss, so you were stumbling. You were dropping down the table, but now you're back level on points with Man City. Obviously, we've got 3 games in hand on you. But hey, you know, I think you would expect that Sheffield United and West Brom are not going to catch West Ham. I mean, I think right now 26 points might be enough. I can't see Sheffield United getting 26 points. That means they're going to win 8 games. I just can't see it. I'll get 24 points. I can't see that at all. West Brom, you're 18 points ahead of them. I just can't see them catching you. And then you got to rely on, I think Brighton are probably, even though they got more points than Fulham. They played 2 games more. Each team's only won 2. I just think Fulham's been a little bit more positive in recent weeks and made it more difficult. I think they didn't get a point off Liverpool off the top of my head. They made it more difficult to get beat. And I mean, even though Brighton did sneak a point today, but actually, when you look at their last 5 games, each has drawn 4, lost 1. So, you know, similar form. But West Ham, doing well, mate, doing well. Ivan, win is the only option. Yeah, no choice, nothing else to look at. Even if we have to dive in the penalty, we can't be doing that. Can't be doing that, Ivan. Forrest says it's 50-50. I think a defensive left out would be safe and let Gundo help Sterling on the left. Aki for me, so we can form a back 3. Aki, Diaz, Stones, and can Chelsea forward if he's fit. Absolutely. We never were nice guys, says Faris. Hey, you wouldn't get it. Gutted about Edison, absolutely. It's a golden chance for Stefan, though. Yeah, you know, he's going to get. I think Stefan could get 2 games. He'll definitely get the game against, obviously, Chelsea, the game against United, and probably the game against Birmingham in the FA Cup, which he was going to get anyway. See, that Birmingham game. It's only if Edison tested positive on the 27th, let's say Edison tested positive on the 27th, that gets you to about the 7th. Okay, so that's after the United game. And then the Birmingham game is on the 10th. Has he got enough time to train and be ready? He would have missed the Birmingham game for Stefan, but you know, maybe they let him play to get some fitness back and just get a bit of practice, or maybe they let Stefan stay and let Edison have a few more days to see what he's like. I don't worry about Edison coming back. You know, you can see he's a bit cold, not in a game time. I think it's slightly different for a keeper, and I think Edison's experienced enough and good enough not to worry about not having any game time before the next league game, which I can't remember who that is. Stefan has to be better than any Chelsea goalkeeper, says Jerex. Mendy's not too bad. Is it Mendy or Edouard Mendy? I can't remember his name now. Compared to United and Liverpool, who have been driving, we are schoolboys, absolutely. Since his great defence will make Stefan's job a bit easier, says you wouldn't get it. I hope so. I really do. Chelsea, you know, we don't know. We don't know who they're going to put out. I mean, look, they've got loads of talent. Will Werner come good? He's not scored in 10 games. Havertz, I really wanted City to buy Havertz. I really liked him, but he's still at 21. When was it 23? So they're still, I think, struggling to come to terms with the Premier League and everything else and the move. They got people like Giroud scoring lots of goals. Tammy Abrams up top, who was doing really well last season. They got pace and they got power and creativity. They got Pulisic, who was doing really well last season, so I think he got injured. They got Hudson-Odoi. I mean, these ones off the top of my head. So they've got a really, really good side. Mason Mount, if you like, that sort of thing. Jorginho or Kansi. they've still got a very, very good side, very good squad. It's just not clicking. I mean, it was clicking, as I said, up 5 games ago, you just thought Chelsea might have been in this for a challenge for the title, and now they dropped away. But as I said, Arsenal have shown, and the way the results are, you win. I mean, look at Liverpool. Liverpool have drawn 3 of their last 5. So in the last 5 games, Liverpool have got 9 points. United have got 13. That's why they've caught them up. Everton have got 12. That's why they caught them up. Yeah. Chelsea have got 4. That's why they dropped down. And look at the difference. That's 5 points. They'd have been 2 points off Liverpool if they'd got the same points as Liverpool. We have got 11, so we've made up a couple of points. It's not good enough still. Even Arsenal. I mean, Arsenal got 10 points in their last 5 games, which is more than Liverpool by a single point. But it just shows you, you have a couple of bad results, like Liverpool have had, and suddenly United made 4 points on them in 2 games. You lose 2 games, someone else wins 2, and suddenly, when you thought you were right, the Spurs, they were dropping down. Now suddenly they're back in 3rd. Everton, they dropped down, they got back to 2nd, now they're back to 5th. So it's so tight. 1, 2, 3 teams on 29, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams on 26. It's so tight. Come on, Faris, give me this stat. Let me just go through all the other comments. I'm hoping Stefan doesn't play short passes and smashes. I don't think he'll do that. I think he'll do. Pep wants him to play short, so you have to take the risk. If every shot a Man City faced on target would go in goal at the Etihad in 17, City would have still won the league. Well, there you go. I think I've heard that before. We didn't face too many shots on target. That didn't go in. Edison wasn't the best. But the thing is, Faris, look, let's be honest, we won by 19 points, so you can see how that happens. Holly's talking about diving, guys. I think right now, Man City's goal difference is 9, Liverpool's is 17. They're top of the goal difference table. The team that's won the most games, Manchester United. They won a few where they've struggled, but you can't deny them. They come back from 2-0 down to beat Southampton. Southampton must be gutted. They'd be Southampton right now would probably be 5th in the table, but they sat there 9th instead. They beat West Ham. When I think West Ham should have at least got a draw. They come from behind. So they've done, I think, 3 games where they come from behind to win. Look, whatever you want to say and how much fun you want to make out of them, they're up there, and they're up there on merit. They've won the games. I cruise banter. I can't see that. No, Lampard might be clueless and he might be playing Werner in the wrong place. But I think he'll come good. I really do. I really think he'll come good because, he's going to put a lot of effort. Okay, the same way as he's a player, meticulous, professional. And I think, for all the trials and tribulations right now, I think Lampard will come good. You can't smash it, Faris. You've got to. I think he'll mix it up. I don't mind the mixing up. Short and long. Short and long. I have no issues with that. Cruz is really laying into Lampard. Hey, you want to get it? City legend. Actually, that's the line I used in my stream tonight. City legend Frank Lampard. Man City legend Patrick Vieira. Hey. City legend David Seaman. City legend Peter Schmeichel. City legend Andy Cole. City legend Andre Kanchelskis. City legend Robbie Fowler. How many more City legends are there out there? Ton of them. United are not going to win the title. They will slip up in the next few games. Their defence looks a bit shaky. I agree, Haj. But, maybe they've had the blip. Maybe they're on easy street. Obviously, they've got a game against Liverpool coming up. We're going to find out what goes down. Obviously, we want that to be a draw. Chelsea have too many pieces to fit. It will take time. I agree, Cole. It'll take a little bit of time. It worked for a little while. No, Haj. No, not Wilfred Boney. Not Wilfred Boney. Please. You made me sad now. United are title contenders at the moment. They won't lost. Well, the thing is, Faris, the form doesn't lie. You know, they've won a lot of games, and you can argue about luck and all this and that. They've won the game, so they're up there on merit. They've been getting lucky. No question about that. United have been lucky. But, some games we were lucky, to get late goals against Southampton and Bournemouth and Everton. It's 7 points or something back to that Centurion season just there. And that last game against Southampton, that's 10 points. 10 points? Well, maybe not as much as 10 points. 2, 4, 6, 7 points. No, Cole, no, please, let's not go there. Faris, no, I don't want to contemplate anybody. No, you don't get it. Yeah, sorry. We can't go that far. Steve McManaman, no, don't count for us. Don't count for us. But no, I can't stand United or Liverpool right now. My feelings of Liverpool have changed over the last 15 years. So I've always disliked Man United, but Liverpool, you know what? There's that thing I said a while ago when Liverpool were playing in Istanbul against for the Champions League. When they come back from 3-0 down, I'm sure a lot of English fans wanted Liverpool to win. When they played Real Madrid, when they got beat, I suspect almost all English fans wanted Liverpool to lose. It's changing, 10 or 12 years. Well, we shouldn't rely on the keeper anyways. Our worries, but not absolutely for us. Clinical, we win. That's I think. For Aguero players, he might help us if he's in form. Well, look, the one thing about Aguero that was good, Haj, in the game against Newcastle is he got in a great position to score a goal. The only downside was he hit it with his right foot when I think he should have hit it with his left, and he hit it straight pretty much at the keeper. But he got into a great position. Yeah, guys, I can't believe you guys trying to talk about who you want to win the title. Navas, Nolito, Mangala. The thing is, the names I read out as City legends, obviously, it was a joke. They played for other clubs and were legends at other clubs. And they came to us at the end of their careers. Stuart Pearce, City legend. Haj, one season he said his daughter was turning grey, losing her colour because there was no sun in Manchester. Anyone but Liverpool, anyone but United. Right, guys, I'm going to start wrapping it up. It was only meant to be a short stream. It's nearly 11:30 where I am. So I've been up since 5:30. I had a class at 6 o'clock this morning. So I was up at 5:30. So I think I need a bit of shut-eye. Liverpool think the special evening. Yeah, absolutely. It means more. It means more to them. It means more. Guys, let you know what's happening tomorrow. Obviously, the game is at, is it 4:30? So the game's 4:30. So we'll be on about 3:25. I think that's going to be the right sort of time. 3:25. So we'll give you the team news. 3:25 team news just before the game. 5 minutes before. I'll come on 5 minutes before the team news is out, and we can have a quick chat. And we might by then know who all the people who are out with COVID for City. If not, then we'll find out as soon as that team news is released. If you find KDB not on the bench even or in the starting 11, then he's got it. I don't think he'll have it. I think I've got this funny feeling. Some of the players who might have it might not have kids. It just leaves you a bit freer to do daft things. Things like what Kyle Walker's been doing. So not the party thing, because I think that was just totally made up. But the thing is done in the past. Harry Kane to City, yeah, it's a load of rubbish. We all know that. Right, guys, you have good evenings, guys. And if you are new to the channel, please give us a subscribe, because you now, push on to get 4,000 subscribers by the end of the season. We rattled through up to 3,100, and it suddenly stopped in the last week. We got nobody. But if you can subscribe, hit the bell icon so you're notified as soon as new videos come out, and hit that like button. And guys, if you haven't seen it already, please go back and watch the preview 32 minutes long. But it was good stuff. And we didn't talk about all the subjects. We talked about VAR. I think we had it was meant to be a quick chat. It was quite a long chat. People had their opinions on VAR. We talked about the COVID and whatever, and having whether teams should play if they've only got 14 or 15 players, or whether it should be postponed. And obviously, we talked about City legend Frank Lampard and whether he'll be given time. And to be honest, guys, and that's it. When maybe too many people, but if you think about it, if you ask a question and 4 people talk for 2 minutes each, that's 8 minutes. So by the time you've done 4 questions, that's 32 minutes. So time's up. Anyway, guys, thanks for coming on tonight, and I'll see you tomorrow before the game.